Welcome to the Zono Sports Show, where you know Zonos. I'm so happy to be here this Tuesday, be talking to you all. I love doing Zono Sports because you all know Zonos, and I love to give you the juice. Now, the madness has definitely begun this March, and I have a question for you. How is your bracket? Is it busted, or is it good to go? Now, the reason I say that, Conor McGregor says he'll bust up Floyd Mayweather, but how bad is your bracket busted, really? There was a lot of upsets this weekend. One shining moments, they did happen. A few of those one shining moments, put a plural S on that. Now, first round upsets, and granted, I'm not calling myself a genius, but I did say Rhode Island would beat Creighton because of no Maurice Watson, because of all the stuff they had go on with injuries and him off of the court. They fell off. They fell off like Milli Vanilli. They fell off like Ja Rule. They fell off, Creighton did. So, of course, Rhode Island's going to win that game. E.C. Matthews and those boys can ball. They showed out a little bit. Middle Tennessee State, did I think Richard Pitino had a chance to beat Middle Tennessee State, being Rick Pitino's son, being at a Big Ten school, getting them some success, getting them in the tournament as the 5 seed? No. I knew Middle Tennessee State would beat Minnesota because Middle Tennessee State, they've got two guys, 2-point forwards with Mr. Reggie Upshaw, and then they've got the point guard Giddy Potts. He's a shooter. Middle Tennessee State's a complete team. I knew they'd win that game. It's common sense. If you knew that, you could easily fill that bracket out and have Middle Tennessee State going to the next round playing Butler. So shout out to them. USC also beat SMU. Now, I knew SMU wasn't maybe the best team in the tournament, but I felt like they were a legitimate threat coming out of the AAC. But how good is the AAC really, considering that Cincinnati, yeah, they beat Kansas State, but UCLA outscored them for 49-20 something in the second half of their game, their second round game. So how good was the AAC really this year? In my opinion, not that good. Pac-12, good conference. But yeah, USC beating SMU, that was a heck of an upset. Now, in the second round, there were a few more, and it got greasier. It got a little greasier than Waffle House on a Saturday night after the club. Wisconsin takes down Villanova, a couple of Wildcats. They knocked them off of the top. They were the defending champs, wanted to go back-to-back, but no deal. Wisconsin says, Villanova, get out of the dance. You're not welcome anymore. Tossed them out of the club. Xavier locked up FSU for the dub. FSU, I'm disappointed. Xavier Rattan Mays, Michael Ojo, Isaac, the young freshman. I thought that crew could get it done and go deep, maybe play Arizona, but they weren't able to do it. Xavier, watch out for the X-Men. They've got the guy Makura. They've got a few. I like Makura, the way he runs offense and the way he flows through that thing. I think he's an X factor for the X-Men. So look out for Xavier. They may be a sneaky Final Four team, kind of like what we saw, similar to the Wichita State situation a few years ago when they surprised everybody and played Louisville in the Final Four. Xavier could be one of those teams. Now, 11 seed, let's not forget they were a top 10 team a few times this season, so we can't lose sight of that. Now, South Carolina blew up the March Party versus Duke. Everybody, I'm sure, had Duke going round after round after round. I know in this bracket here, the main bracket I showed you guys, I got Duke going deep. I got them going to the national championship in this bracket. But I've got a bracket, look it up on ESPN, called Maybe a Bear with this guy emoji. Look that Maybe a Bear bracket up, 99.9%. So Zoe knew something. Yeah, they let us fill out 25. I filled out just 24. But Zoe knew something to know that I could put together a combination that's ranked in the 99.9 percentile. I'm 11K, people. 11K. The top 1% get drawn. I am under that 200,000 mark. 200,000, that's very important because 20 million is how many brackets were filled out. So if I'm 11K out of 20 million... I'm smelling myself. So you can't be mad at me about that. Now, South Carolina, how will they do in the next round? I'm not particularly sure against Baylor. Baylor's got a lot of size. I'm anxious to see that. But Frank Martin got these guys to score 65 points in the second half versus Duke. That's a lot of points. To only score 23 in the first, 65 in the second. Sounds to me like there was no defense. Now, tales of the tournament. Northwestern quenched a terrible thirst. They end their long drought for the NCAA tournament. They no longer are the team that nobody cares about that hasn't made it to the tournament in how many ever years, never in history. They finally make it to the tournament. They beat Vanderbilt off of a stupid foul at the end of the game by Vanderbilt, but they beat Vanderbilt. That's going to help that program beyond measure. Because recruiting, you can say now, we've been to the tournament, we go there, we win tournament games. That's how you get players to come and ball out for your school. So shout out to Northwestern for bringing their program into the 21st century. Michigan has been magnificent and is currently in the works of writing a Hollywood script for this year's tournament. They have the plane incident where their plane slides off the runway in Michigan before they try to go to the Big Ten tournament, and everybody's scared. They had to play in their practice jerseys because of what happened, because they didn't have their luggage and their uniforms were under investigation with that plane because it was considered cargo in the plane. Now, Moritz Wagner scored 26 points versus Louisville, 11 for 14. What I saw from that kid, that German, Mr. Moritz Wagner, Wagner, excuse me. Now, Dirk Nowitzki, yeah, you're a great German, but I'm looking at this kid, Moritz Wagner, and he's got a little bit of game. And I think that Moritz Wagner could be a great pro once he leaves Michigan. But Michigan is currently doing something untold. Had the plane crash, they won the Big Ten tournament, haven't lost in I don't know how long, maybe a month, and then they're deep in the tournament in the Sweet 16. Couldn't they take this thing all the way to Phoenix and walk off of that court singing, "One shining moment"? We will have to see. Stay tuned. Now, in the women's side of things, what's more to talk about than UConn? UConn beat Syracuse by 30 and rolled right along to the Sweet 16. March, all the way to the Final Four. Now, can UConn win it all? I'm anxious to see that. But that girl Nurse, I want to say Kelly Nurse. I think that's her name. I know her last name's Nurse. She is a baller. So UConn, I don't expect them to lose anytime soon. We'll just have to see what happens when they get to the Final Four because it looks like they're going to walk all the way there if they're beating people by 30 to go to the Sweet 16. Now, a PSA to the NBA and its players. If you want to rest, go buy a sleeping bag. The NBA season is not a time to take naps every other day. Now, I'm talking to the league too. You guys got to do something about these schedules, these back-to-back games, because people are sitting out paying good money. Me and my boys didn't even watch the Spurs and Golden State game the other night because, okay, Kawhi had the concussion protocol, but Chef, Draymond, Clay, Andre didn't even play. So you expect me to sit there on my butt for 2.5 hours and watch that crap on TV with a bunch of guys that I could go see at a big time high school game or big time college? And not to damage the fact that they are pros. I don't mean to sound condescending. The guys that back those guys up are pros. But when I watch TV on my TV, I want to see the Chef. I want to see YG. You know, LaMarcus Aldridge, extenuating circumstances with the heart arrhythmia. I get that. But Draymond, Clay, Steph, and Andre all need rest on the same night. Now, maybe Iggy, because Iggy's been playing since Allen Iverson was playing with the Sixers. That's how long Iggy's been playing. But these other guys, come on, NBA. You guys got to be better than that. Fans can't get that cheese back, Chef. Fans can't get that cheese back, Bron. Fans can't get that cheese back, Steve Kerr. They can't get that cheese back, Greg Popovich. We need games. So get out there and play for us. We want to see you guys ball. If we want to just sit here and see anybody, we'll go to the park. We'll go to a local park and see anybody. But when we watch a product on TV or go to a game, we want to see you all ball. So let's get that done. Now, Warriors got the broom out last night 4 times against OKC. 4 times they beat them this year, and they had no KD. So, OKC, I don't think that you guys will win a championship this year. That's safe to say because if you got swept in the regular season, you're going to get swept in the playoffs. So, I don't think that you guys should worry about advancing. Just get Russell that MVP. He deserves it with all those triple doubles. Almost about to pass Oscar Robertson or tie him with the games he has left. Chef and Clay last night had 7 threes apiece. You can't stop that. The kitchen's heating up. Kevin Durant will be back. And then we'll see the finals that we all talked about that we thought was in peril because of the injury to KD. Warriors versus Cavaliers. LeBron back to Oracle. Chef back to Quicken Loans. It will happen. Now, Tiger Woods, I don't typically talk about golf, but Tiger Woods and the Masters have become estranged lovers in recent years. Why do I say that? Tiger Woods, the back is still damaged. He's still hurt, still sore. How's he going to play? How's he going to play? How will he play at Augusta? He says he wants to, but honestly, I don't think he will. But let's hope Tiger Woods gets back out there to a major soon and wins one because he worked hard for all those majors to pass Jack Nicklaus. And Ever since '09 and everything that happened, there was a golf club through a windshield. Nothing's been the same. Maybe you should cut on a Drake album, Tiger Woods. Check it out. Keep watching the World Baseball Classic. Next Tuesday, I'll have another show for you all. I've got vacation on Thursday. I'll be in Myrtle Beach a little bit. I'll be talking. You can catch me on Instagram at Zono Sports. Catch me on Instagram. I'll be more active this weekend because I'll be out of town and we won't have a show Thursday. So make sure you catch me back here on Tuesday. I really appreciate y'all watching. Thank you for watching the Zono Sports Show, where you know Zonos.